Welcome everyone. So in the last video we created this simple Flask app that multiplies any number by 2. Now how do we launch this on Google Cloud so we can create a link that's accessible by everyone? First thing we do is we come to Google and then we search for GCP, which is Google Cloud Platform. Once we're inside, we go to console. For you, because you've never signed in before, you're gonna have here a free trial button. You can click it, add your Visa card or MasterCard information, and then it'll give you $300 for 90 days that you can use. And don't worry, nothing is going to be deducted from your card. You have $300 and we're not even going to use $1, so don't worry about that. Once you've enabled your billing, we click on console here. And now we're inside Google Cloud Console. You have this little button here that's called Activate Cloud Shell. We click on it, and then we're going to have to wait for a little while until the Cloud Shell is opened. For your information, Google Cloud has its own terminal. For a lot of people, it might look a little scary because you don't know how to use this terminal, what is it connected to, but don't worry, it's just like VS Code, no difference. You can create files, you can run documents, and do it all just like in VS Code. As we can see here, we have the terminal. There are two ways to upload our files. We can do it through the terminal, or we can actually open the editor, which looks very similar to VS Code interface. Once we've opened your terminal, we can create a folder and then upload the files inside it. Let's just call it Flask app. Then we open that folder and then let's make a new file. We're going to create a file that's called main.py, which is going to be the Flask app. Simply what we're going to do, we're just going to go to VS Code, copy the content of the Flask app from app.py and paste it here. We save this file. And then we're just going to do the same for times2.py. Once you've copied the content of these two files, we're going to add another file that's called requirement.txt. And the reason why we need this file is because now in VS Code, we created this virtual environment that has all the dependencies that this app needs to run. So now we're going to just extract all these dependencies and put it inside the requirements.txt file. So when we launch our app to cloud, we can launch all these dependencies with it. So we're just going to come back here again and activate our virtual environment as we did before. Once the virtual environment is activated, we're just gonna type pip freeze. This will give us all the dependencies inside the file. As you can see, the main important one is Flask, which is the framework we're using in this app. Copy all the dependencies and then just paste them here. Now we have all the dependencies inside the requirement.txt file, but how are we gonna launch this to cloud? We're going to create another file that's called Docker file. Just be careful, the D needs to be capital in this Docker file. And once we have it, how do you know if you spelled it correctly? You're going to have a little shark mark right here. I'm just going to copy and paste real quick the content of this file and then explain it to you. So this is how the Docker file content looks like. It's nothing really fancy. We're just choosing the version of Python that we're running. And the way to get this version is very simple. You just go to VS Code and you type Python --version, and then you see the Python version. You just copy it and paste it here right away. And then we're just saying here that run the Python on unbuffered mode. And then right here, we're just copying the directory in which the file, this Docker file, is inside. And after we copied that directory, from that directory, we're installing the requirement.txt file, this file that we inserted all the dependencies inside it. So after installing it, we're also installing Gonicorn. Gonicorn is very important to launch Flask apps on Cloud Run. It's basically a web server for launching web applications. Then you don't really have to worry about these things. You just need to know that we're just saying here that the app file is called main, as we have it here, main.py. This is our app basically. Now we have everything we need to launch our app on Cloud Run. The next step that we need to do is we go back to our terminal. Now that we've opened up the terminal, we have to check the directory in which we are inside. So we're gonna just click ls, and then we're in the main directory. We need to go inside the flask app folder. We're just gonna type cd, which stands for change directory, and then we're gonna say flask. I'm just gonna click FL and then click tab, which fills up the rest of the directory. And then when I click enter and then ls again, we'll be inside our file. Now that we're inside our file, we have to decide the region in which the function is going to be launched in. And in order to do that, we're just going to go to this link, which shows you all the regions available. Let's just go with, I'm just going to go with US East 1. How to choose the region? You just type region, all in capital, equal mark, and then you paste your region and then click enter. Now that we've inserted the region, I'm just going to copy and paste the code for launching the Cloud Run function. And then I will leave it for you guys so you can use it as well. And I will also leave the link for where you can find the regions. So this is the code that you need to run in order to start launching the Cloud Run function. As you can see here, ×2 is the name of the function. Keep in mind that your function's name has to be all in small letters, and there's no spaces, no hyphens, nothing else. So I'm just gonna call it ×2. You don't really need to change anything else. And we're just here calling the region, which is US East 1. Hey guys, again, I just switched my account because it turned out that my previous account has already passed the 90 days free trial. So I did everything the same way again, and now I'm at the same step. I just need to click enter, and whenever I do that, I authorize the Cloud Shell. Now it's gonna give you this message. You just type Y and click enter, because sometimes there might be some APIs that you need to use, but you haven't enabled them, so they will just enable it for you. And then we click yes again. And now we're just gonna wait until the function is deployed. Once the function is deployed, you will have the URL right here. You can also access it from the Cloud Run tool. You just open this 3 bars menu, you click on Cloud Run, and then you will see the functions that you have deployed so far. So if I click on this one, I'll have the URL here. Now we can test the URL. We will just paste it. If I run it, we're not gonna have anything because we're really not using the route here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna type /, which is a route, and then I will type question mark so I can input the parameter, which is number. Remember, if I open the cloud editor, you will see that the parameter that we're gonna request is number. So once I type number and then equal to 5 and then click enter, then we will have a result. App on Google Cloud using Cloud Run. I made the application very simple so you can know how to deploy a Flask app on Cloud Run. If you're looking for more complicated examples, I've made also a chatbot using OpenAI. I will leave the GitHub link for this app for you guys, and in that repository you'll also find the example for the chatbot as well. I hope this video was informative for you guys, and thank you very much for watching.